You're watching the 6:15 primetime newscast in the English language on Canal The International. Thanks for joining me. My name is Gladys Sambodiban. Stay tuned for the headlines. Months period of grace, that is the period from this August 16 until December 31, 2022, time the National Union of Medical and Sanitary Personnel, SIMPEPS, and the National Union of Establishments in the Health Sector in Cameroon, Cap Santé, have granted the government to find lasting solutions to their problem. The content of a release SIMPEP's president signed today, August 16, after consulting among themselves, thereby calling off the announced strike this August 16 throughout the national territory. And to talk about schools, some 500 private schools suspended. About 500 of them, that is private primary and secondary schools, have been suspended by the Minister of Basic and Secondary Education for irregularities and operating clandestinely. What is the responsibility, or what is responsible for the actions taken by the Minister of Basic Education and Secondary Education? You will have the details in this newscast. Those were our headlines. Stay tuned for developments.
Since 2016,
Good evening once again, and thanks for joining us on the 6:15 primetime newscast in the English language on Canal The International. Let's begin with the strike that was announced by the National Union of Medical and Sanitary Personnel, SIMPEP, that has been called off today in the nation's capital, Yaoundé. A 4-month period of grace is what SIMPEP's president, in a release signed today, has given government to find lasting solutions to their problems. Beatrice Ngamo tells us more from Yaoundé.
The communique of this August the 16, 2022, carries the signature of the presidents of the two syndicates, that of the National Union of Personnel of Establishment and Companies in the Health Sector in Cameroon, Cap Santé, and that of Medical and Sanitary Personnel, SIMPEPS. This as answer to last Saturday's demand by the government for a 6-month period to attend to their grievances. In their own inner consultation this morning, the unionists were not okay with the long time frame for action and instead gave a 4-month truce to the government. Starting this August the 16th to December the 31st, the unionists from the communique are also demanding for more human treatment of temporal and precarious workers of public hospitals while waiting for the desired results. While others have arrived at this temporary decision to suspend the strike for now, information we got talks of a grouping at the Littoral Regional Delegation of Public Health. Others, like this supposed spokesperson of another group, OTS Santé Movement, saying they have supported a lot, is at the Ministry of Public Health with placards expressing his dissatisfaction.
On va continuer en tant que OTS Santé, nous allons
continuer. We will continue as OTS Health to complain until the minister, the government reacts, give health workers the means to better take care of their patients. The grievances of some 27,000 health workers, they add, estimated worth 12 billion CFA francs. They are claiming unpaid bonuses, promotion dues, family allowances, payback and more. Information from an official at the Ministry of Public Health who spoke off camera said the OTS Santé is not a recognized union.
And we talk economy. For Cameroon to face the challenges along its budgetary preparations, the contribution of all is imperative. The extended conference on budget planning and related performance validation began in the nation's capital, Yaoundé, this August 16, 2022, and they have 10 days to actually work on the challenges as well as the difficulties they have been facing and come up with solutions. Beatrice Gambo once again from the nation's capital.
The Budget Planning Conference, opened this day by the Minister of Economy, Planning and Regional Development, is holding within a very difficult context.
A difficult one, but certainly we are prepared to face the different challenges based on the preparation we have been able to realize with the support of the Minister of Finance as well as the Minister of Economy.
Preparation is the key. Time to evaluate their level of preparedness in line with the National Development Strategy NDS 30. It started during the June session of Parliament, during which key orientations were given in terms of economic planning as well as financial allocations. With the existence of priority investment projects, there is possibility to allocate our resources to the most important project to be implemented to promote our development and achieve the stages of an emerging country by 2035. The priority investment plan covers the period 2022 to 2025.
Also, the elaboration of a new chart for program aligned to the National Development Strategy during the conference, interministerial conference, to examine programs. This gives us the possibility to be in line with our public orientation and have the new chart that will help us align these activities of different ministries with respect to the National Development Strategy.
Only midterm expenses scoring 70 on 100% will be retained next August the 26th during the end of the extended conference on budget planning and related performance validation for 2023 to 2025.
And let's talk education. About 500 private primary and secondary schools have been banned by the Ministers of Basic and Secondary Education for operating illegally. What is responsible for the ban? A team of reporters from the nation's capital, Yaoundé, talked to the control brigades at the ministry, or the control brigade for private schools in the nation's capital, and then put together this report.
Private secondary schools suspended are classified into two categories. There is those functioning in irregularities and those who stop functioning but substitute with other schools that do not have papers. For this upcoming 2022-2023 academic year, 135 secondary schools have been suspended all over the national territory. Reason raised includes difficulties presenting land ownership certificate, file on the list of specialties, a geometric study on the foundation of buildings, and a technical expertise document for existing building.
One of the major elements that is constantly lacking or has problems so far as creating or setting up a school is concerned is certificate of land ownership. And then secondly, there is a problem of land certificate. Most of the proprietors or most of those who want to venture into the school business have land that do not have land certificate. And when they constitute files and submit with that certificate of land ownership, the likelihood is that the file will be rejected.
According to the controller at the Ministry of Secondary Education, the procedures are very clear.
For you to open a private school,
And let's talk environment. Amid high levels of degradation, forest adjacent communities have been challenged to take frontline role in securing a better environment for their children. The call was made in Melong in the Mongo Division littoral region of Cameroon by some civil society leaders who met to strategize on how to better involve communities in their strategies or better communities in conserving the environment. Regional Lekatanda tells us more.
The environment sustains men, but this same environment is under severe pressure, paradoxically, by men.
The problem of environmental degradation is something that is not new to us. All of us are aware of the impact of climate change. When you ask a local farmer, they will tell you how they are experiencing climate change. And even our wildlife, you see that these animals that God blessed us with are not still in existence. Some have gone extinct.
At the roundtable discussion organized on August 13 in Melon, Mongo division of the Littoral region, Cameroon, stakeholders were keen on awakening the consciousness of local community members.
The communities need to know that they cannot stay or they cannot live when their environment is not safe. They must know that they are the key custodian. That is, even if we partner like WWF, we are coming to assist them, to give them some of these sustain techniques. They must know that if they don't protect their environment, for example, they will not have water. If they continue cutting down trees, water will dry off. If they continue cutting down trees, they will not have oxygen.
Organized by the NGO Environment and Community Development Association, better known by its acronym ECODAS, the workshop also aimed at re-emphasizing the goal of putting local people at the forefront of conservation.
Our goal is to work with the communities who are living in some of these key biodiversity conservation areas, like protected areas, national parks, sanctuaries, and wildlife reserve. So we work with the communities, we educate them on the importance of protecting the environment, the importance of conserving wildlife. We also try to give them alternative.
Thank you, Regina Leketandak. And she's the one you will meet in the next report. For the past 3 years, she has continuously become Best Environmental Journalist of the Year. She was recently awarded the Victoria International Media Merit Award as Best Environmental Journalist for 2022. She has been applauded for the role she plays in sensitizing the population about the need to care for the environment. Stephanie Chin put together this report.
To take action to save Mother Earth.
Canal International's environmental reporter Regina Leketandak has emerged Best Environmental Reporter of the Year 2022, making it the third year she wins the award consecutively. Regina is known for her love and passion towards nature. Her worry over the neglect of the environment is her drive.
There is so much out there on politics, economy, sport, but when you look at the field of the environment, there is this lack of information, and this is partly as a result of the fact that most journalists have not taken interest. It is true that gradually some journalists are taking interest in the environment, but I think we need more voices for the planet. That's the reason why I decided to, invest my energy to bring out the problems facing the environment, from deforestation to climate change, to the need to navigate to renewable sources of energy, to also talk about wildlife crimes. There are so many challenges the environment is facing.
The environmentalist has ventured into nature documentaries, moving from one area to the other to project problems faced by the environment and to propose solutions. She is the producer and host of a 26-weekly environmental TV show called Planet Rise on Canal International, a show that permits experts to propose solutions to problems faced by the environment. It should be noted that hard work has earned Regina Leketandak both national and international awards. This August 2022, the 33-year-old was again voted as the Environmental Journalist of the Year at the Victoria International Media Merit Award, an achievement that was celebrated by her colleagues in the newsroom.
And we now talk culture, the Ngondo. This year's theme for the Ngondo Festival for the Sawa people has been made known during a press briefing in Cameroon's economic city. Today, August 16, Ngondamboa, as the Sawa says, means love for fatherland. Love, peace, and unity is what the Ngondo, or the people of the Sawa people, want to promote. The details with Stephanie Chen once again.
After 2 years of interruption by the prevalence of COVID-19, The Ngondo Festival will again be celebrated in a grand style as usual come December. This was made known in a press briefing today in Douala, where Sawa traditional rulers came together to deliberate on preparations ahead of the event. The Ngondo Traditional Assembly will be celebrating this year's festival under the theme Kodambwa, meaning love for the fatherland. To some traditional rulers, the theme was chosen in order to enforce peace, love and unity in the Sawa community and by extension every part of Cameroon, given the current socio-political crisis in some regions.
The ancestors are inviting us to love our country.
Ngondo a lancé ses activités pour la préparation des festivités de fin d'année, comme à notre habitude, et puis que le thème est enfin connu, c'est l'amour de la patrie Kodamboa en Douala.
The annual event is an opportunity to promote Sawa cultural values and to help individuals know the importance of living together.
And we talk international news today. William Ruto has won the Kenya's presidential election as couples break out at count centers. He came out with 50.49% of the vote, while in Afghanistan, flash floods have killed 29, leaving 50 others injured, as we hear in this report gathered together by Shariful Saleh.
William Ruto has been declared the winner of Kenya's presidential election, moments after the main count was interrupted as scuffles broke out. Mr. Ruto is currently the country's deputy president and has beaten opposition leader Raila Odinga to the top job after winning 50.49% of the vote.
I want to promise the people of Kenya that I will run a transparent, open, democratic government. And I will work with the opposition to the extent that they provide oversight over my administration.
Mr. Ruto shook up politics by appealing to struggling Kenyans on economic terms and not on traditional ethnic ones. Despite being sidelined by the president, he had told voters that the election was between hustlers like him from modest backgrounds and the dynasties of outgoing President Uhuru Kenyatta and Mr. Odinga, whose fathers were Kenya's first president and vice president.
There is no room. There is nothing. There is no room for vengeance. There is no room for looking back. We are looking into the future. I am acutely aware that our country is at a stage where we need all hands on deck to move it forward.
Flash flood triggered by heavy rains killed at least 29 people and destroyed scores of homes in eastern Afghanistan, officials said Monday. Scores of Afghans die every year in torrential downpours, particularly in impoverished rural areas where poorly built homes are at risk of collapse. Heavy rains over the past 24 hours lashed Parwan, Kapisa, and Nangarhar provinces. Mohamed Nazib Haqqani, spokesman for the Ministry of Disasters Management, said at least 20 people were killed in Parwan and more than 50 were injured. Crops, dozens of homes and roads have been destroyed, adding that 5 people died in Kapisa and 4 in Nangarhar.
That international news takes us to the end of today's edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. Thanks for watching. The French edition will be yours at 19h50 with Alain Gislain Kanga. Up next is Debrief de l'Actualité with Lil Piedou. I will be yours again same time tomorrow, God willing. Bye-bye.